Hey everybody, Dominic here, and today we're going to talk about my exact process on how I write product descriptions to bring in money. If you've never heard of me before, my name is Dominic Mayu. I run a company called DM Corporations, and we help Shopify-based e-commerce brands scale to millions of dollars of profitable revenue through something that we call revenue optimization. So without further ado, let's get right into these product descriptions. So first things first, let's cover what is a product description, right? So let's go through a few examples here of some really well-performing e-commerce sites. So starting with Ridge Wallets, this here is going to be their product description, right? It's this little section on Shopify that's going to be typically to the right of the product image on desktop and under the product image on mobile, right? So everybody kind of has different designs. Here's how Ridge does it through some tabs. Here's Hexclad, similar tab system. Here's Simple Modern. They go up here and then a little bit down here. And then one of my partner sites, GTech, tab system here with a few different tabs. So that's what the product description is. Now, the importance of the product description is it sells your product, right? It's one of the first elements that the customer is actually going to read on your product page. And a good product description will actually sell your product without any other effort. Okay. So an immense amount of effort needs to be put into the product description. A single product description that is written well, I guarantee can boost your sales by 50%. Some of the biggest A/B test wins I've ever had have been from testing product descriptions. So let's start here with a few common mistakes of product descriptions, right? These are the common mistakes that I see a lot of smaller e-commerce brands make. So first things first is too much text or just a wall of text, right? They think that they need to add every single minute detail of the product and you don't. So it just ends up being this giant wall of text that nobody ever reads because our attention span is about 4 seconds. And then on the contrary, we have the lack of detailed information. I've seen a couple product descriptions that are like 1 or 2 sentences, right? You definitely want it to be a little bit more than that. You want it to contain your UVPs. You want it to speak to the customer. So that's that one. Third is only features rather than benefits. You definitely want to focus benefit over feature. I'll show you how to do that later in this video. Fourth is the poor structure and readability, kind of similar to that wall of text. It's just hard to read, right? You want your product descriptions to be scannable so people don't actually have to read the whole thing if they don't want to. They can quickly scan. You want to bold keywords, power words, things like that. Fourth is failure to talk to your audience. Now, this is actually the biggest and most important piece that we're going to cover today is doing customer research to actually talk to your audience. That is vital, okay? And we're going to cover all of these as we go through. Fourth is using super generic copy that looks like it was written by ChatGPT. There's no problem with using ChatGPT, but you definitely want to go through and edit it, add your language to make sure that it's on brand and actually fun to read and doesn't sound like a robot wrote it. And then fourth is skipping your proofreading. It is crazy how many times I see just grammatical errors or spelling mistakes in product descriptions. And that will immediately kill your sale because it looks like your brand isn't real. Okay. So let's get into kind of the overview of this video real quick. Let me go back into present mode here with this flowchart. Okay. So we're going to start with customer research. And like I said, this is the most important part to write a compelling product description. Then we're going to move into features versus benefits and how to write benefit focused descriptions. Third is going to be power words and sensory language. Fourth is going to be format and presentation. And then fifth is going to be testing and iteration. Okay. Now, let's just go ahead and get right into the customer research side of things. So this is the most important piece in writing a product description. And you actually do this before you write anything. And that is gather as much information and insights as you possibly can on your customer base. Now, a few ways you can do this is surveys. You can set up a thank you page survey to ask them a couple of questions. You can set up a post-purchase email survey. offering them a $10 or $20 gift card back to your store if they fill in, 9 or 10 questions that you create on a platform like Typeform, right? Typeform is a great platform to create surveys. Now, that post-purchase email survey is one of the most powerful tactics you can use to gather customer research. And the best part is, if you give them, say, a $10 gift card, they'll typically come back and spend a lot more than $10. So not only are you getting a ton of data back, you're actually getting repeat profitable purchases. Okay. Another way to do this is social media, right? Look at who's engaging with your posts, look at their profiles, look at your comments, look at who's sharing your posts on their stories, etc. Third is customer feedback and reviews. So if you're getting any feedback, if you're getting returns for specific reasons, reading the reviews, finding the language, things like that. Okay. So basically, what you want to look for is what your customers care about on your products, the biggest questions that they have about your website or your products, the biggest objections that they have, right? So, what's the biggest thing that's stopping them from purchasing? And then answering all of these in your product description. So, here I wrote, highlight the highs and answer the lows, right? So, figure out the top 3 unique value propositions on your product according to your customer research. Read the reviews. What are the top 3 elements of the product that most people are talking about, right? Look for patterns. Ask this question in the survey. Why did they buy this product? What made them buy this product, right? And find the top 3 and then add that in the product reviews or in the product description. We'll talk about how to do this later, but this is really just gathering all this research. And then answer the lows, right? Figure out what questions your customers still have. In that survey, you can ask them, what was one question you had before you purchased, right? Or what was one objection, or what was one thing that almost stopped you from purchasing? These are all extremely powerful and kind of highlight the highs, answer the lows, right? So now that you have all of this research, let's talk about how to actually write this description a little bit through some benefits over features. So first things first, let's talk about what these are. Features are the specific characteristics or attributes of your product, where benefits are how these features improve your customer's life or solve their problems, right? So you definitely want to focus on benefits, but there's definitely a place for features, right? Features are important. It's the benefits that truly connect with your customer's emotions and needs, though. So what I like using is basically called the so what system, right? So you deliver your feature and then you ask yourself, so what? What's the benefit that this feature delivers? Here's a couple examples, right? Feature: waterproof up to 30 meters. Benefit: enjoy peace of mind on your adventures knowing your watch can withstand any weather or accidental dips, right? Benefits should address avoiding pain or emotional gain. Those are what benefits should be focused on. Now, example 2, feature: made with 100% organic cotton, right? That's the feature. There's no emotion behind that. Now, what's the motion? What's the emotion here? It's experience unparalleled comfort, right? So that's the emotional gain, and contribute to a healthier planet with our sustainably sourced materials. Again, that's emotional gain. Okay, so how I like writing my product descriptions is the feature kind of being, somewhat of the headline, with the benefit being the subheadline directly under that, right? So that's typically how I like writing them. I'll usually do a paragraph up top with 4 to 5 highlights. Now, again, how do you find these features and how do you find these benefits comes back to this customer research. This is the most important part in developing a good product description. Okay. Know the language, use the language of your customers, analyze all these reviews. What specific words are they using? Add those words in your description. Okay. And then, benefits over features. Now let's move into some power words and their kind of influence, right? So power words are persuasive, emotional, or action-oriented words that trigger a positive response. Now, these words can significantly influence purchasing decisions by evoking emotions or conveying a sense of urgency. Okay? So that's power words. Sensory language is basically using words that appeal to the 5 senses, right? So it's creating a vivid image of the product and the benefits in the customer's mind. Now, this type of language helps customers imagine using the product, enhancing their desire to purchase, right? It basically makes them picture what their life would be with that product. Again, use that to write your product descriptions. Okay. Now, here's a couple examples, right? Irresistible, stunning, effortless, exclusive, limited. Feel the softness of our exclusive cashmere sweater, warming you with every touch. Savor the rich, velvety smoothness of our gourmet chocolate, right? Now, this is super sensory driven. Now, you can use these words to kind of vamp up your description. I will say, don't put too much thought into this. Okay. I would rather use my customer's language than focusing on these types of power words, but they can have an influence and they definitely can help write your descriptions. Okay. Now, fourth is going to be format. Now, we're going to end this with a few examples, walking through the examples I showed at the beginning of the call, but breaking them apart a little bit further. Okay. Now, proper formatting is extremely important. It enhances the readability and scannability for your users, making it easier for your customers to digest important information quickly. Like I said earlier, people do not have good attention spans. People are not going to read paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs about your products. You want to make it as scannable as possible, right? Use bold, use bold certain words, bold your power words, bold your UVP as people are scanning, right? Those are going to stand out. Use different font sizes, use bold, use different tools to just make it as scannable as possible, right? Break it apart. You don't want these giant paragraphs of like 8 sentences. Break it, add white space, right? So there's a few different ways you can do this. Again, we'll go through examples. It's kind of easier to explain with something visual, but some other nice formatting, suggestions, right? Bullet points, headers, and white space, right? Break those paragraphs into different sentences, not just a giant block of text. Now, let's go through some of these examples again and look at how Ridge Wallet does theirs. Now, I love how Ridge does this. They have their UVPs right here, and then they have a features, descriptions, and shipping and warranty. Okay, so they actually highlight their features for super feature-driven people. Exactly, just no benefits behind any of these. It's just, bam, this is our features of this product. This is what makes this product unique. And then their description, they do a really good job. Again, this is their feature into benefit functionality that we were talking about earlier, right? Money clip, that's their feature. And then it explains a little bit what it is. And then boom, there's some benefits behind it. Okay. So I love how they do this. Again, if you read this, it's short. What is this? 1 sentence, 2 sentence, 3 sentence, 4 sentences, but these last two are super simple and it's super benefit driven. Again, it addresses their features, but it talks benefits as well. Are they using any power words? Not necessarily. Maybe minimalist could be considered a power word. And then they talk about shipping and warranty here. Again, this is just answering their customers' questions. It's making it super, super clear. Now we'll go to Hexclad. Again, I love these UVPs. And then they go into what's included, right? This is a big set that's not cheap, right? So people probably want to know what's in it. So this is a really valuable tab to have, especially for like a big set or products that aren't super clear on exactly what the customers are getting. They have a care and use tab, and then they have a whole lifetime warranty tab. And then under here, they have even more, right? So they are addressing all of their customers' questions here, right? They're being super, super, super driven on addressing their customers' concerns, their customers' objections, and answering as many questions as they have. Look at each of these descriptions, right? They have pure benefit driven, 100% benefit driven here, and then some features. Benefits, right? Tempered glass, boom, there's the feature. What's the benefit? It helps protect against cracks and breaks. Okay. Very, very well done. Now let's go here. Again, it's a little bit different. They have a 2-sentence description up here. That's, again, look at some power words in here: hydration, companion, boom, benefit / feature, boom, more benefits, leak resistant lid, lots of color options. It addresses, it's 40 ounces, answers questions. And then down here, boom, they're doing more benefits and features, right? Feature cup holder friendly, talks a little bit about it. Leak resistance, double wall insulation. Now, again, I guarantee you they used surveys, they used forums, they used some sort of customer data to write this. Okay. Now let's go to GTech, which is one of my partner brands. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is usually how I write most of my product descriptions. It's a basic 2 to 3 sentence paragraph at the top, and then 3 to 5 UVPs that are super dialed in on this audience. So I'm actually running a post-purchase survey for these guys. It's a 10-question survey offering a $20 gift card back to the store for anybody that fills it in. And these were the biggest things that we got back, right? We asked, why did they buy? One of the biggest reasons was the social proof that this website has. A lot of people were answering, well, if it works for NFL players, it's probably going to work for me. So highlighted that. Again, this is just a huge feature with its benefit description here. Marathon Worth. This is the other biggest reason that people are buying, right? How long does it stay hot? Or it stays hot for a long time. So again, highlight that here. And then, yeah, this is just talking to our audience again. So our main audiences are going to be golfers, hunters, and athletes. That's our main audience. We discovered that through our surveys. We're talking to them specifically right here. Now, on top of this, and this is kind of like a bonus section, I always add shipping and returns because this is a huge question that people always have and want to know, especially for a higher ticket item is, how does returns work? If I get it and I don't like it, how does that work? And then I do, again, FAQ. Now, every single one of these FAQ questions was developed from the customer research surveys, okay? So do not underestimate the power that these customer research surveys have on you. Awesome. And then the last piece is really just testing and iteration, right? Now, A/B testing is extremely, extremely important. Basically, all that is testing product description A against product description B to see which performs better. And like I said, I've had some huge wins from testing product descriptions in the past. I'm talking 50% plus wins, which means 50% more revenue from a single A/B test, strictly testing the product description. So do not underestimate the power that this has. Okay. So always iterate, always be testing, never stop your customer feedback either. Always gather data through those surveys, through social media. Always gather data using analytic tools to see, are people actually reading your description, right? Spend an hour and watch recordings, right? Install Microsoft Clarity or Hotjar or Lucky Orange and watch recordings of customers on your website. Is anybody actually reading your description? If they're not, then how do you iterate to get them to read it, right? Do you need to make it more scannable? Is it a big wall of text and people are just scrolling right through? Or are people reading it? Where are they reading it? Are they reading the whole thing? Are they scanning it? And that just kind of gives you insights on the next iteration, right? And then, yeah, always get customer feedback and always just reiterate, okay? Like I try to test my product description at least 4 times a year for all of my clients. Now, obviously, I'm running a lot of A/B tests across the entire website all the time. So I don't strictly test product description, but 4 tests a year on a single product description is a lot of tests. Okay. So I'm always iterating. I'm always reanalyzing that data and I'm always testing. Now, sometimes my new iterations win and sometimes they lose, right? You have to expect that. But when you get winners, that just continues to compound upon itself and build. So a quick recap. Start with your customer research. This is going to help in way more areas than just your product description too, right? This is going to help site-wide. This is going to help you develop your design, your images, your copy, your product descriptions, new products. It's going to help you with your ads, your emails, your customer lifetime value, your AOV for product development, right? I mean, this is just everything, okay? And then next is benefits over features. Again, it's important to talk both. Features should be short. Benefits should be a little bit longer, a little bit more effort put into the benefits. Power words and sensory language. Again, if you can use specific words that your customers use, I would gap this and kind of use both. Don't put too much thought into that. I think that this kind of can overwhelm people, but I did just want to throw that in there. Fourth is your format and presentation, right? Make sure it's scannable, make sure it's readable, make sure it makes sense, and just make sure it's a simple structure. And then fourth is going to be your testing and iteration, right? Once you add a new product description, always test, always find new ones. It can always be better. Now, I hope this video helped. If you have an e-commerce company that's doing at least $10,000 a month in revenue and you're struggling with growth and getting your website profitable, there is going to be a link below where you can schedule a call with me to actually analyze your website and see if there's potential for working together. There's another link below that'll take you to our 1-hour e-commerce mastery course. This is where you'll learn the ins and outs of e-commerce to help your brand scale, conversion rate optimization, average order value optimization, and customer lifetime value optimization. So those 3 core metrics that'll just make your brand take off. Okay. So again, totally your call and clicking on either of these links, but I did just want to throw that out there. Now, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Get after your product descriptions and boost those sales. See ya.